Hello, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Vancouver, Washington. Before I show you the project we're going to be making today, I'll take care of the housekeeping notes. In the description bar below, you will find all the products I'm using and all the dimensions. You will also find a link to my online store. If you need a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be yours. You will also find my email address. If you have any questions or want to see something made on this channel, please let me know. You'll also find a link to my online, I already said the online store. You'll also find a link to my Facebook group. We'd love to have you join that. And let's see, I don't think there's anything else. Just have to cover everything. Oh yes, remember to subscribe, like, and share this video to help me grow the YouTube channel. And I appreciate everybody who's recently joined. So, we're going to be using Regal Reindeer today. I know we're getting really close to Christmas and we really probably don't need more Christmas cards. But unfortunately, I discovered I do need a couple more. So I decided to make one. But this card doesn't have to be a Christmas card. You could just replace the verses with some birthday verses or hello or thank you. You could actually even use this for a sympathy card. So let's move on and I'll show you what we're making. Move this off to the side. And we are making this card here. And I'm going to show you how to do, it's a lot of paper piecing, but it is a lot of fun to make. And inside it is a verse, a Christmas verse, wishing you a wonderful season filled with all the good things and that warm your heart and lift your spirit. Merry Christmas. So, but this is what I'm going to show you how to make today. And normally I stamp on my envelopes, but today we've added some DSP to the back, and I'll show you how I did that. So, on with the project. The only ink we're using today is Versamark, because we're embossing everything. So, let me get all the pieces out here. I have done most of the die cutting, but there's a couple we're going to be, and I'll explain how I die cut all the pieces. So, first, this is the back. We're going to be die cutting this together. Now, these... and we'll be die cutting this. And this is for our envelope, which we'll set off to the side for a moment. And this is the background that we're going to be paper piecing on. Now, what I've done, I'm using Lights Aglow Designer Series paper. And you could do this in all different colors. There's several colors in here. So you can do any colors you want, but I really like the black and ivory. So that's why I went with that one. But what I did was I cut this. This is 6 by 6, and I cut this at 2 1/4 inches. So you can get 2 strips out of a sheet of paper. And then I cut the squares. Now you can die cut 2 or 3 sheets of DSP at one time. Since there is on the die I used, there really is no stitched edge. If you had a stitched edge, you wouldn't want to do that. But since I did not have a stitched edge, I could cut multiple of them. And what you need is 4 of each design. So you have 3 designs, and you need 4 of each. And that's what I have here, if I did it right. So we have 4 of each design, okay? And I'm going to show you the dies we're using. We are using the beautiful shaped dies, and we are using the hexagons. They can get around here. We are using the 2 center ones. So this one and this one. The large one, we're going to be cutting the black piece, and this is the one I use to cut each of these squares, or hexagons, I should say. So what you need to do first, and let's go ahead and score this really fast. This piece of paper is 11 inches by 4 1/4, standard size. And we're going to score it at 5 1/2. And fold it in half. So this is a side fold card like this. And let me go ahead and burnish that. And you want to know something? I just realized we're going to have to cut a piece of ivory paper in a few minutes. I didn't cut the piece for the inside. You know I have to forget something. So before we get that, we'll get this going because it needs to sit and dry for a few minutes. So what you need to do is you need to pick out what you want your pattern to look like. And so what I did is I sort of sat this out a little bit and just sort of, and no two are going to turn out exactly the same, but I wanted this one across here. About like that. Because what you need to do, and I'm going to take this one here, is you need to sort of start spacing them out. So you have about 1/8 of an inch border around them. And you could cut your little strip of paper, but I'm just doing it strictly by eyeball. But you need to get the basic shapes in here. But I want to make sure I leave a little bit of extra room at the top here too. So about like that. So that's where the first ones are going to go. You want to put the first 4 in like this, okay? And we're going to use glue. And I'm leaving the others there to just sort of hold where I know where my spacing is. This is very easy card to make. Once you get the first couple down, it all goes together very quickly. And try to, you can see where the other ones are sitting, so try to line them up. And you see I'm trying to line up the edges of those hexagons with the last one I just did. Because if you don't get them lined up to the next one, then they don't all fall in order and get into the right places. And I'm just working my way across the card. Move that over just a tad. That's why the glue is sort of helpful on this one. Now, if you notice, these two are not directional, but this one is because it has some stripes in it. So I'm making sure all my stripes are going up and down and not, they're all going the same direction. And I believe on the last one I made them go vertical, but this one we're doing up and down. So you get the first 4 on there to get going, okay? Sorry, I need a little sip there. So then we're going to go up and we're going to put on the next few. Now you notice we're going off the page. That's okay. So we're going to put the next bigger sections in. We're going to use these guys here. You see how we're doing this? We're just laying it there. So when you go to put these on, you have to notice that you're only going down part way. You only put glue on that section. And we're going to line this piece up. I leave my gaps about the same. They don't have to be precise. And I would recommend also, which I didn't do, but I'm going to right now, grab your silicone mat. Just in case a little glue goes over so you don't stick to your desk. And I'll put this one in here about like that. And then we're going to put these guys in about, just seeing about where I need to put my glue. If I go over a little bit, it's okay. Trying to line up everything as close as possible. And about like that. Okay, I'll hold those for just a second, because what we're going to do now is flip this over. And we'll start with the ones we put in first. And we're going to cut off. Now, you're going to maybe get a little glue on your scissors, which I already have a little glue on your scissors. If you take a little bit of alcohol, that glue will come right off. So don't worry about that. I'm just going to flip it over and trim it off. And see why I said use the mat? Because I got a little glue on that, but it's okay. Now, we're not going to get rid of these pieces yet. I'm setting them off to the side. I want to make sure we have all of our piecing done before we get rid of it. So there's those. So now we need to come over and do these pieces here. So this first one, if I can pick it up, you notice we've already used 3 of these. So we're going to put this one here. Oop. Got glue on my finger. And this one is going to go here. So we're going to do this side first, and then we're going to flip it around and put the other pieces on this side. Now you notice we're only going down a lot lower, just this very little end. Just like that. And then a little bit on this end. Pull that out back just a tad. Let that sit for just a second. Now, while those are drying there, we have some pieces here. And we know going to put, oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry. It's this one. We need to put these pieces here, and I want to make sure they're still going up and down. I'm making sure that this line is going up and down on here. So this one needs to go here. So which, like I said, it's a very thin little piece on this one. Oop. Takes a minute, and you got to hold it for just a second because you do have, if you get a little glue on there, it's fine. It will dry clear. And if it is a little sticky, you just put a little embossing powder over it and it'll be fine. So let that one sit for a second. Now we need to take and cut these two so we can move to this side. Now you could cut more of these and, you know, but you'd have a lot of waste. And I prefer not wasting if I don't have to. So we'll trim off this one. Now we'll move to this side. And we'll put this one on. Now we'll come back up and cut this one off the top and let those sit and dry for a few minutes. And we'll take and turn around and put this one down here. Now you can do different combinations. I found 3 works rather well, but you could do 2. You know, you just have to figure out your pattern and lay it out so you know what you want on there. So there's that one. So we'll come back and cut these 2. And you're saying there's a whole one sitting here. I'm going to show you what we're using that for in a minute. Definitely going to have to clean my scissors when we get done here. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off now. Now we're just about done, except we have little corners here. So this is where it's not going to matter a whole lot if you keep the corners the way you want. But this one I'm going to put here. And you're just going to, literally, I'm going to put a little glue on the paper here. I'm not putting it on this. And I'm going to put this piece in here where it's supposed to be. Let it press it down for a second. Now these are all different colors here. So I've got this one here. Let's see if any of those. Tried to keep my angles going the same way. No, we're gonna wait, do this one. Because this has all the corners we need. So we're gonna flip this over. I'm going to clip on both sides, and this one I'm going to do from the front very carefully. So there's the one corner done. Now we'll come down here and do this corner like this. Once again, we're just putting a little glue here. Putting this corner in. Hold it for just a second, and we just work our way around the same way. Just make sure it's dry before you clip, and so it doesn't move. And there's that corner. You could leave them open if you wanted. I just thought finishing them off made it look really nice. So I'll put this one in this corner. Oop. Paper piecing with different shapes is a lot of fun. And it gives a whole different dimension to your card. Now, this is when it's easier to just do from the front. There's one more corner to go. And this one's going to be here. This way I can keep my lines all going the same direction by using this one piece. So in these, this is the little bit of scrap you have left. Not much. And we'll clip this one off. And that is the base of our card. So we're going to set this on the mat here, and I'm going to take these pieces and get them out of our way. We're going to set this off to the side because I just realized I did not cut a piece of ivory. And so I'm going to stand up here and move light for a second and grab some ivory. Or I should say ivory. It's very vanilla. I don't know why I call it ivory. It is very vanilla. And, you know, we tend to forget stuff. I do. So we need 4 inches. By 5 1/4. Put those away for later. So we need to do some stamping and some die cutting. So let's do our die cutting first, and then we'll get all of our stamping at the same time. So the black one is going to be with the large die. And the ivory, very vanilla. I call it ivory. Sorry, guys. The very vanilla one is here. Now we're going to be embossing on this. Since we're embossing on it, I want to cut it first before I run it. You can cut, emboss, and run it through the machine. But I think sometimes it gets torn or it loses it. The embossing loses its shape sometimes when you die cut. That's what I want to say. So grab some plates here. So don't know why I didn't pre-cut these, but I didn't. Probably the same reason I forgot to grab the other very vanilla paper. It's that time of year, you know, you're busy and you forget some things. If anybody is thinking about becoming a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and you don't have to throw parties and stuff, you can just do it as a hobbyist as well. They're starting January 5th. We are going to have a great deal where you can get, for $99, you get $175 worth of product, or for $129, you get $175 worth of product and a stamping, the mini machine. You can get this white, or you can get the No Boho Blue machine, which is coming out. Boho Blue is a new color. It's in color. It's going to be coming out in May. So it's a little pre-thing on that one. So if you are interested, please send me an email and I will talk to you and get you that information. But it is a great offer. So here's our die cut. And here's our 2 pieces we're going to stamp on. So what we're going to be doing, we are embossing. I'm going to grab my embossing paper right now and put it underneath where we're stamping. Get our Versamark. I'm just getting all of our pieces out here. I'm getting my gold embossing powder. I've had this out before. It's just a little container I keep my gold in. I don't keep all of my embossing powder in these, but I use gold a lot. So here's our little embossing buddy. We're going to make sure we have no static on our page. And we have a lot of static here today. We have it's cold with the east wind blowing, so we don't want that. So we're going to stamp a couple things here. We're going to first do, now what I've mounted here is I've mounted my verse and Merry Christmas on one block because I want it right here in the center, and instead of stamping twice, it's easier just to put it on one block. But that's me. You don't have to. And like I said, this doesn't have to be a Christmas verse. It could be a birthday verse. It could be a sympathy. It could be anything you wanted. That looks pretty good. We'll set that aside for a second. Then this one says Peace on Earth. I'm going to put that right in the center here. And then in this set is some little snowflakes. And I thought I'd take a little group of snowflakes. So turn those around. I know you can't see where I'm stamping on here, so I can barely see it. But I'm putting a little group of snowflakes on each side there. Then we're going to give them a little embossing powder. Boy, I must have rocked big time. You know what we're going to do? I'm going to flip this one over and we're going to do it again. So bear with me just 1 second. I'm going to wipe the back side of this off. That's why there's 2 sides to the paper. Since there's no stitching or anything on this, I can do that. I rocked. That's the other thing you want to do is don't rock your blocks, and I did. So let me try this one more time. Go straight down, straight up. And then the same with this. Like I said, if I make mistakes, you guys get to see them because I don't edit my videos. I think you should know that everybody makes mistakes. And I have a little rocking on one side, but you know what? I'm going to leave it. I think it looks fine. Got a little line right there, but it looks okay. Adds a little character. And get this one in here. That looks good. Let's get this closed up before we send. Always cover your embossing powder before you get the heat gun going, because it will make a very big mess. Got a little line I'm calling my wet snow. You know how the snow sort of falls apart sometimes. That's my wet snow. And there's our embossing on that. So let's put our card together. So this is the inside. Now you can see how warped it is from the heat. You could use seal, you could use glue. I'm going to just go ahead and use my Stampin Seal this time, because I don't particularly feel like holding it down for a while. You just put glue on it and put a block on it. Works just fine too, but the seal works great for this. That. And then this part we're going to put here. Well, while I got the seal out, might as well use it. And line this up. Make sure you have it all lined up and square before you stick it down. So that's the reason I like the glue, is I have a wiggle room, but no wiggle room in this one. And then this one, I'm going to go ahead and use glue to make sure I do it, get it where I want it. Get that one centered in there. And then we're going to grab a couple dimensionals. Should do it. And I sort of wanted mine right in the center here. Now I didn't add any extra bling to this because I really didn't think it needed it. But that's our finished card, even with my little wet snow and reverse inside. Now, as for the envelope on this one, you open this up, and what we're going to do is put this right here on the front, and you could use whatever you want. I'm going to go ahead and use the seal. I'm putting it on both ends and the side. Glue works too. And then I'm going to set this. This piece here is 1 3/4 by 6. I'm going to line it up right with the fold line on the envelope, like that. And then just flip it over here and do a little trimming. And a little trimming on this side. Like I said, I need to go clean my scissors before I do anything else. And then we have a beautiful envelope to go with our beautiful card. So that is one way to do paper piecing. I'm going to probably find some other ways to do it, but I do like doing paper piecing together. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you. Goodbye.